I love to see diversity with candidates. We need more leaders to step up. Black U.S. Senate candidate, receiving racist death threats. Boy, this reminds me of that movie, Mississippi Burning. We're still there, huh? We never really moved on from this, have we? That's what the headline is. The details, the campaign signs supporting Maryland Democratic Senate candidate Angela Alsobrooks, defaced with racist threats, triggering a police investigation, reported by the Washington Post Monday night.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Despite going into her primary for Maryland's Democratic U.S. Senate nomination as a lesser-known politician, Alsobrooks ran such an impressive campaign against her opponent, Representative David Trone, a wealthy, white, male liquor store magnate. She was able to defeat him, even though he spent more than $61 million on his campaign to defeat her. That sounds like he won it fair and square. Grassroots approach, didn't have that backing financially. However, unknown forces are looking to dull Alsobrooks' momentum by defacing a sign. News One with the reporting. Look at your life, America, as we take a look again at the billboard. According to a report from local outlet 5 DC, perpetrators placed KKK symbols on the sign along with placing crosshairs on Alsobrooks' forehead in the photo. It's unmistakable what was meant here. Not a prank, not given this country's history. Spokesperson for Alsobrooks said the incident will not stop her. Quote, our paramount concern is Angela's safety. However, this sort of hateful threat will not deter Angela or her campaign. Raw story with the statement. Alsobrooks is currently vying for the U.S. Senate against former Republican Party Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, who was recruited into the Senate race by Mitch McConnell and endorsed by Donald Trump. Little wrinkle there, but you get who set this up. Hogan condemned the actions in a statement, writing, hate, threats of violence, and racism must be condemned in the strongest possible terms. They have no place in Maryland. They do have a foothold in Maryland, apparently. So thank you, Mr. Hogan. Okay. Bit of a Nepo baby, but been a politician for a long time, like his father. If Alsobrooks wins the general election in November, the sitting Prince George's County executive will become the state's first Black woman U.S. senator and only the second Black woman to hold a Senate seat from any state currently. Again, News One, and I want to start there because I'm not even celebrating that. It's 2024 and we're just now, this is what I mean about racism, the best and the brightest. I want the pool to be so wide to draw from so we can have the best leaders, the best. How can it be when I know how smart Black women are? How can it be that we've only had, and then we had the guy in California who's Governor Newsom. You should have appointed a Black woman. It's just that's what I believe. I actually believe you should have. There were some qualified ones. You didn't do it. Mayor, this one touches me. I want her to be okay. I like the grassroots effort and the well-oiled campaign that she ran, but I turn to you because I've not served in this capacity as an elected leader. You have, and you immediately faced real, credible, disgusting, violent threats. And I need you to talk about what she's going through because you've been and are going through it.
Yeah, listen, and it's our job. It's not a front, as in we're lying, but it's our job to put up a progressive and strong front in the face of this behavior, and we do. But we also have to recognize the real threat that is. And she's in Maryland. She's an elected official there. So the state officials, the SBI there, somebody needs to be investigating and also putting security around her, and they need to get a swift answer to who's responsible for this because we know As you said, even though it's 2024, this is a serious and could be something serious, especially since the KKK has a stronghold in Howard County, and Howard County touches right up against PG County, where she's an elected official at. So people continue to forget that slavery and the roots of white supremacy is deep, deep. And in a state that has a moniker calling itself the Free State, right? The Free State is what Maryland called itself. We see that racism still has a stronghold on it, like a blue crab, a Maryland blue crab, stronghold on what happens in this, even when someone is as qualified as Angela is. Maybe their definition of best and brightest is not brightest in the sense of who's the smartest. It's brightest as an option, or I should say an opposite of darkness, because she's too dark to be the bright that they're looking for. Maybe that's the problem, because she is well qualified. And we know that Hogan didn't want to be in this race for Senate. What happened was the No Labels campaign for president, that idea got dropped and they couldn't pick up steam the way they wanted to. So he wasn't elected as a candidate for no, now he's back, telling people in Maryland that this white man is the best thing to serve the state, this very diverse state. It is absolutely tacky, and his statement is lame, because he should have been out front and louder about the
Yes.
KKK and the KKK, which probably is as some of his fundraising.
You are so right, and that's where I wanted to go next. I don't want you to put out any statement. Don't you put out a thing, Hogan. Candidate Hogan, former Governor Hogan. How dare you? I prefer the John McCain, may he rest, approach. Why would you put out a statement? This is so gross. This is so disgusting. I want you to run towards the cameras, the microphones, hold a rally, and talk about how disgusted you are, and don't vote for me in the name of hate. I don't support you. Well, there's no place for hate, racism in America. Anybody who accepts the endorsement of Donald Trump and then puts out that statement doesn't hold water. Doesn't. You don't want to alienate, is my view. Hogan, candidate Hogan. You don't want to alienate racist, dark, disgusting people who are behind this or support this kind of act. Give you the last word, Mayor.
I have. This is the danger when we play that both-sidism thing, when we pretend that both parties are equal. And Hogan, while people were praising him when he was governor of Maryland for being this moderate Republican, you see him fall in line. He's anti-woman's choice. He's anti really standing up to Donald Trump, even though he said he was. We see him take that endorsement and run with it. So this idea that any Republican is better than, the idea that any Democrat is equal to this type of Republican, people who are willing to say that Black people are from S-hole country, people that are willing to say that they're good people on both sides, and allow Klan to get away with behavior like this and a lot worse to this sister, is absolutely disgusting. And it's the problem. It is the cancer to our politics, for sure.
You're the problem. I don't want David Duke's endorsement. And what I said is not radical. Why would you want Donald Trump's endorsement? You proud of that? Keep your statement. We're going to be watching very closely what happens here, and hope she does stay safe. We're watching.